we recommend going to analytics.google.com and sign in with, if you have it already, sign in with the email that you have used analytics with. So now let's go and look at my analytics.
Okay, so up at the top, you'll see analytics and then you'll see all accounts. So hit that little arrow on all accounts because you'll pick which URL you want to go look at.
Excellent, excellent. And then I want to go into this one and I want to go in, get over here.
But what you want to do is see that top one just says HTTP.
Yeah.
Since this is GA4.
Yeah.
You want to look for the one that is HTTPS. You want to make sure that the tracking code was installed and you want to make sure that you have the right one in there. So
there we are right here. This is the one I want to open.
Okay.
Right.
And whereas with Google Analytics Classic, you could have a universal tracking code and you could put it in the back end of your site and it would track all of your pages together. With GA4, you want a unique tracking code on every single landing page. So a lot of times people converted from GA Classic to GA4 and did not recode their site. So Google Tag Manager is very helpful in that case, but you do need a completely different separate tracking code on each individual landing page of your site.
And what I'd recommend is this is where hopefully you have a web developer, or if you're using Wix, you contact them on the correct way to do it. All right, so let's just talk about what we're seeing right here.
So that is your active users. And so you can see that you, for the time frame that you have here, which is down in the bottom left-hand corner of that little card, you'll see where it says last 7 days. So you can change that. So typically what you do is a 1 month look back. So you can do last 60 days, that's 90 days, and you can see what happens. And so typically you would go in here and look at a minimum of every 30 days and see what's going on.
This is my main website that goes to everything else. So it's really not the one that I get the most traffic off of, because I'll get people going to my coaching site and others. Go ahead, if you'll explain what active users is.
Active users are people who have come to your site. In your settings, you can set the time parameter. So let's say you have an e-commerce site and you have a product that is a refillable or something that someone uses constantly. You would want to have that set at a lower time frame. And so you would figure, how often do you have to buy that product? Like my dog food, I buy it twice a month. So you would want mine to be set at about 7 days. Whereas if it's a car dealership and someone buys a new car, typically it's a couple of years till they buy a car again. And so what you want to do is set for whatever kind of company you have and whatever kind of website it is, you want to set that. And so you had an active user of 547, which you were up 3.2% over the 30 days period before. And then event count, you had 9.1 thousand events. So events would be those key events, which are with your website, it's probably a form fill, it's probably an email, click to call. And so that's up 89%. And then new users. So of your active users, new users were 921, and your new users were down 12.5%. And then your key events are 32. So you have an 89% in event counts, but 12% less in new users. So what you would want to do is, for this site, marketing strategy would be that go back and look at what that event count was and see what people are responding to. That might have been an email blast, that might have been a social post, it might have been a blog that you dropped on your website. What you want to do is see what caused that positive effect. And then with new users, you're down 12%. And so that tells me that I would want to go investigate that event count and see why did I have so much activity and from people who were not new users. And so you had engagement with customers that had already been to your site. And so you'd want to find out what that positive effect is and duplicate it.
Excellent. All right. And then this is showing active users. So that if you come to my site right now, this would show up like, hey, there's activity going on right now.
Exactly. And you could go ahead and click that view real time in the bottom right-hand corner, and that takes you to that active panel. If somebody was on your site right now, you would see the exact country that they were looking at, what pages they went to. In fact,
It's Martin Brossman Associates. If you want to bring it up so they'll see it. Oh, they've got two there.
so I allowed my location to be found while I'm searching. And so now you have two people that are viewing your page by title.
Mm-hmm.
And you should be able to see the area that people are on. Over on the right-hand side, see the United States. I'm located in Florida right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so you should see a dot. I don't know if you can scroll over a little bit. Okay, so you should have a blue dot. I don't know why it's not showing up right there.
Right, but it should be showing up here, which is
Exactly. I'm a little bit north of Miami right now.
Mhm.
And so it should be showing up. I can send you a screenshot of what it looks like when they are lit up.
That's good, but we can see activity right here too,
Exactly.
and what's going on.
Yes. And so
Excellent.
over on the left-hand side,
Yeah.
you can see where it says report snapshot and real-time overview. Real-time overview is when you can see actually who's on your site at one time. So it's really, I love to watch and have this up on a screen when you drop an email blast, because you can see how much activity you had immediately. And then also again, when you resend to people who didn't open it. Same thing will happen when you drop a social post or a blog. You can see how many people get a notification and click on.
Outstanding. So let's go back to our report and dial in to see, like, where did they go?
Right, exactly. So if you scroll down a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
new users. So direct would be people who actually put your website URL in exactly. Organic search would be someone was looking for either someone who was a trainer or a education, something that has to do with business management consultant on your site. And then organic social would be any organic clicks that you got from social channels. And then referral is, let's say you send out an email blast and I forward it to a friend, and then the friend clicks on your website. That would be a referral.
Excellent.
And then that is the middle one is showing sessions by whatever the action was. And so you can see direct, organic search, organic social. So let's say you were running a Google Ads campaign or a Microsoft Bing campaign. You would also have paid search in here.
Right, which I don't. And then, of course, we can see other countries that are looking at the pages right here.
Exactly. So where a lot of times where you'll end up with other countries is if someone's doing a Facebook or an Instagram paid campaign, and they have not restricted it just to the United States. So for most companies, and especially small companies that have a 10, 15-mile radius, which is I know a lot of what you and I work with, there is no reason in the world to be advertising in other countries.
Right.
Now, if
Very
you're an
important to
e-commerce site,
understand.
completely different, but with e-commerce, you need to know the rules of engagement of each country.
Yep.
And then user activity over time. This shows how your users are trending. And so let's say you had a monthly newsletter or a monthly training or a monthly schedule of where you were. you would want to also see that spike in activity every single month, because that was the goal, is you wanted people to come once a month and look at what was, where they could go take classes, find you speak, things like that. And then that's user activity based upon device data only. So you can actually go in and you can look at how many people have looked on the brand new iPhone, how many people have looked on the brand new Galaxy, and how did they keep entertaining your pages.
Yeah, it's an important one right here.
Exactly. So views by page title and screen class, very important. So let's say you have a company and you have three main services. You would want to make sure that your homepage and those three main services were your top pages. And so what a lot of times people do is use their homepage for everything. What you need to do is actually create content, create an ad, and have that click through to the exact landing page so that the user experience is good, so that people found what they were looking for.
Yeah,
when
and
they
this
were
is
searching.
great, Robin, because this is something we have on it, our AI consulting and training, and people are going to it.
Exactly.
Excellent.
And then event count by event name. So you can actually put in here what your goals for events are. So page view is your number one event count in there. Session start. So you can actually measure when someone does a session start. When they stop, you have first visit. So you had 824 people it was their very first visit. You had 91 people scroll down the page, and people to associates. So went from the home page, I'm assuming, to the associates page.
Mhm.
And then a click on here, 30. So what you would want to do is find out exactly what that click event name is.
Mhm.
You would want to tag, like on the homepage, you would want to tag where someone did a click on the phone number
Mhm.
for organic. You would want to test and have a click for when someone clicked from an ad into your website and clicked on there. So you would want to know what calls came from organic, what calls came from paid, what phone calls came from referrals.
Right.
And then click, you would want to know if that was clicking on a form or, click here to book Martin Brossman at your location, or see his calendar, or have sign up for a newsletter. You would want all those things on there so that you can see exactly how people are using your site and see where they're not able to use your site. And so let's say, like sometimes people will say, there's no one using my form. Why weren't people filling out my form?
Mhm.
And so the first thing I usually do is go look at the form. If it's got 7, 8, 9 fields in there, you're asking for too much information from someone before they have a comfort level of getting the information from you. And so a lot of times, if no one's clicking on forms, you can shorten it all the way down to where you have a newsletter and all they have to put in is one field of their email address,
Mhm.
and see if people start reacting. And so if you have a call to action that no one is doing any action on, it doesn't do you any good to keep that call to action. Switch it out, A/B test, try something different.
Excellent. And this is also where you were working with the company where there was people going to the shopping cart and then not using it. You found out the shock of the shipping was so high that that's why they were leaving.
Exactly. So what we did is did free shipping, increased the price of the product, and all of a sudden the shopping cart abandonment issue went away.
Yep. And
And
in mine, I'm not selling anything. So on the right here, there really isn't anything, which is fine.
Exactly. But if you have an e-commerce site, or you have something where somebody buys a block of time or something, you definitely want to be able to put the most important tags are when somebody looked at the services, what services they looked at, then when they went to the page where it would have shipping, and then the payment page,
Mhm.
and then the payment verification page. You would want tags on all of those because you want to see why people didn't buy. Were they not able to find the information that they needed?
Mhm.
Were they not able to, was there a budget problem? Was there a shipping problem? Or is there a technical problem? So I always advise people to have a free code for their website where they can go in and test different products periodically and make sure that your own site is working. And you can do it with a code so you don't have to actually use a credit card and actually charge those items.
Excellent. Where, if we wanted to look at one other thing for like beginning users, small businesses, what would you recommend?
Yeah, I would go to acquisition
Acquisition. Good. Okay.
and I would go to overview
Overview.
because this is
Oh,
where
yeah.
you want to see where are people coming from. And
Uh-huh.
so you want to work on, if you're missing something, you want to work on why you're missing. So see over on the right-hand side, we don't have anything coming in from email marketing. And so is that because we haven't put a tag on our email? Have we not
Yeah, I
connected
just don't
MailChimp?
drive them to this particular site. I drive them to others, but that's
Yep.
why. But
To
that'd be
see
an important thing. If I wanted to, then I'd go, what's going on?
exactly. And you could actually even set up a custom UTM for LinkedIn so that
Mhm.
you could see whenever someone looked at your LinkedIn and came in,
Mhm.
you could set up different parameters to test almost anything.
And
And then
Robin,
on the
oh, sorry, go
bottom,
ahead.
I'm
Yep.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Down there, sessions,
Yep.
the sessions manual down at the bottom.
Yep.
This shows you that 73 people came in at sessions from Google.
That's from my press
prlog.org.
release. That's really cool. See, that 22 came from a press release,
Perfect.
LinkedIn
And
post, Facebook.
yep. And that LinkedIn and Facebook post, you would also want to go see if they came in from that press release, because normally when you drop a press release, you go drop it into your social channels as well.
And then good old DuckDuckGo. Someone is showing people using it.
Mhm. And you want to make sure that you see where all your sessions are coming from, because if someone has put your site on a website that is not a good reputable site, you want to see if you're getting traffic from a spam site as well.
Outstanding. Last I'd like to show them is where they can see what individual pages are going to.
Engagement,
Yep. Let's go there.
overview.
Yep.
And so this is where you can see exactly what happened when they came on the different pages. So
Mhm.
over on the right-hand side, that card at the very end, views by page, title, and screen class.
Yep.
That is very important for you because you want to see what are people coming in for. And so obviously your homepage is 495 counts.
Yep.
AI training for professionals and AI consulting and AI training are the top 3 pages, which is what you've been pushing now.
Yep.
And
And
so
I'll dial in a little deeper and it shows me more specifically what's going on. This is important. And then not set, I might want to look at what that is, what's going on there.
right. You want to make sure that you can quantify the most amount of your traffic.
Right.
And the most amount of your traffic in there for views is not set. So you want to know exactly what that is. So by using Google Tag Manager and making sure that there's a separate code on every single landing page would help with that, as
Mhm.
well as making sure that you use UTM codes for anything. And one thing that people forget to use is for your Google Business Profile to make sure you have a UTM code in there so that you can actually track how many people came to your Google Business Profile.
Well, Robin, I might be getting you over here to tune this. I just threw this in. I really didn't take a lot of time, and that's one we might want to troubleshoot in the future. But this is where it's showing me, okay, this is the page,
Yep.
And if it were like a page that you have and you forgot about that doesn't have relevant content, you have a lot of people going to it, you either might want to update it or have it redirected or something like that.
Exactly.
Well, this was excellent, Robin. Thanks for a kind of a quick overview of the whole thing. What I want to tell people is this is, for a lot of people, this is where their head starts to hurt. You're a master at this, but not everyone loves the data like you do. And what I'd say is go in and just poke around and study it, but it does take a little time to doing it. And often this is where you want a good web developer to either get the right plugin for WordPress or get this set up correct, because it really shows you a lot of data about how people are looking at your content.
Yes, and Google has web developer tools that's a plugin for WordPress, so it makes it a lot easier as well.
Yep. Excellent. Excellent. Well, thanks, Robin. This was great.
Thank you for having me.
Appreciate it. That was terrific.